a rough call. I had one in the Park Service, and I never did anything about it. So what that was, it was a flipped over car with a child in it. We had to pronounce her. Even as a wildland firefighter, we still responded with the local department. Mm-hmm. And child was upside down in the car and, dead on arrival. So we were pronouncing it with the paramedic in the back of the ambulance with the mother right there. And here I am, 18. And I remember, man, we can't do anything about it. I don't know what to say. I let that paramedic who was there a little bit more, and she ended up slapping me. I still remember this. So like, fucking save my baby. You killed her.
Wow.
Right. So, wow. Yeah, dude, I was tripping. Drank heavy after that. And I was like, okay, I don't know. No, I did. I knew I didn't. What the fuck? I didn't become a murderer. What are you talking about? Here I am, 18. I don't even know. So she ended up hitting me, slapping me, and crying. And I ended up leaving. The coroner came and all that. But there wasn't no support for mental health, things like that with the part of that. And hopefully there is. You have a good buddy. He owns another podcast, Anchor Point. Good. He's trying to get the rights and more mental health for wildland firefighters, because it's definitely there as well. I mean, you may not be responding to the medical aids like we are to the point, but those guys are out there doing the same thing, and everyone needs it.
So, man, I don't know. So you leave this call. What happens? You go right back to the station? Right back to
fucking work.
Right back to the station.
Nothing.
So you don't have anything. Is it because the resources just don't exist?
You see in the firehouses and stuff when you're taking a piss, or the urinal, there's some EAP fucking phone number. I got told that if you got problems, you call the number, but you're also a seasonal firefighter, bud. So I don't know if you have time to burn. I was like, okay.
Yeah. What's the reality if you call that number?
But you call it, there's like 7 free counseling sessions, but that's it. Nowhere near, I'll get to what our department does, which is fucking awesome. But no, that was
nothing. And we've had the Overwatch guys in here.
Yeah, good
Jesse
guys.
and Greg. We talked a little bit about that and the red flags that can put up for you as a firefighter or an officer, if you're in law enforcement, right, or whatever, for the other people on your team. Because now, if you put out there that you're having a bit of a problem, right? Like I'm having a little bit of an emotional issue dealing with this thing that happened, and I really need somebody to talk to. Well, now people step back and they go, well, don't talk to Pranay, man. He's, he's not feeling too good. He's not too stable right now.
So
which creates confidence issues and creates all kinds of stuff.
So with our department now, with CAL FIRE, absolutely not. So we embrace it, and it's good. Like, I've never felt that position at all with my department right now. So other agencies, yeah, absolutely, right? You're a bitch, you're a pussy, get back to work.
Wow.
What are you talking about? Even the military too, right? That red tape is hell. Even just like antidepressant meds or whatever, it's like, oh no, you're flagged. But you actually need it, right? I mean, whether you believe in antidepressants or not, just using that as an example, right?
There's a lot of different ways to go at a particular problem, right?
Yeah.
But some of them is what we're saying here.
Yeah.
That is a stamp. That's like the red, wearing the scarlet letter. Right. If you take that help, because now it follows you forever, and it's inside the jacket, right? It's inside the folder.
Exactly. Your personnel file, right?
Every time they open it up, they go, oh,
yeah. And you know what? That's like it, with our department now. It's like, so that happened. Getting back to that. So I guess that happened and that stuck with me, but I was just swept underneath the carpet. I didn't really think about it, and I thought about it, whatever. And then went through a lot of different stuff. So stuff with my dad, father ended up passing away. So there's some closure issues that I never got. Mm-hmm. Why were you not there for me? Abusive, physically, mentally, all that. You wanted to, call him out as an adult. Never could happen. So then 2020 came in, and being gone for work for so long. So a lot of people are like, oh, you work 3 days on, 4 days off. That's awesome. Like, no, fuck that. Like, I wish I work your 9 to 5 sometimes so I can go home to a wife and go have a beer at the end of the day. Like, no, it's 72 hours of straight work. I can get called at 2 a.m. And now that I drive and now I'm in charge, I'm like, oh no, I can just sit in the back of the fire engine and look outside, see what's going on. Like, no, it's like, you have shit to do.
And the stuff that you're doing is stuff, or seeing is stuff that's sometimes it's destruction, it's death, it's tragedy.
No, and humans aren't supposed to see that. I don't give a fuck what anybody.
Not as frequent, and certainly not as frequently as you're forced to look at it. And again, people could say, well, that's the job, man. That's what you signed up for.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I've got that before. Yeah, I got to argue.
Okay. Well, all right. It's part of the job. So there should be part of the job that helps balance the things that I'm doing. What is that?
Exactly.
What's being provided?
Right. And that's like, yes, right. There is that job. If you cannot, handle it is, I got to find a good word for it, but if you cannot,
it's coping.
Yeah, cope with it, or, recognize what it is and being resilient, then that's fine. This job is not for you, and Apple right down the road is hiring. Mm-hmm. Totally fine. However, with our department now, so 2020 comes through, I get another call from everybody's familiar with Lassen National Park area. So north of Lassen up there, almost into
you're almost into like Idaho or
Oregon, Oregon, south of Klamath Falls.
Yeah.
So we get a call, wintertime, vehicle accident. Okay, cool. Just bread and butter vehicle accident. I've seen so many dead bodies, right? Adults. The kids is always a rough one, right?
Wow.
So I get there and we're trying to find this vehicle accident, snowy, and this is highway that's all fucked off. And ended up pulling up. It's fine. One engine got there before us. We're the second due company to it. So I pull up. One of my buddies is there, and I see a car overturned, completely smashed. And we radio 911 call. It was like an OnStar activation, no service out there in the middle of nowhere. Find out, pull out a kid, and immediately start CPR. Again, child passes away.
Wow.
Had a pulse, lost it. Mother was there, big mess. That the local deputy up there wasn't able to pronounce. I was like, no, you're the sheriff coroners. You're right, sheriffs are coroners as well. Deputy sheriffs are also coroners in California. I was like, that's your job. You need to do that. I'm not fucking pronouncing it. So, okay, man, I can't do it.
Wait, he can't do it?
No, like he physically couldn't. Like
he was emotionally, physically could not bring himself to do this. Correct. Knowing the reality of the situation, couldn't do it.
Yeah. So immediately I'm thinking about the one call I had damn near almost 10 years ago in 2010.
It's post-traumatic stress, man.
So I'm like, and here I am, reputation like this guy, goes into fires. I love this, all this stuff. I'm here with a couple of new guys. Like I know my shit, kind of cocky sometimes, with work, and like I feel comfortable. Shouldn't say me. But he was like, hey man, can you do it? I was like, do what? And I'm like here, I'm like jittering. I'm like, do what, man? Like, child's gone. Like, I'm gonna go back in service. We're available on the radio. We're gonna return. Of course, right? I can't do that. I'll fucking help him out, right? So I'm like, take a deep breath. I was like, all right, let's go. Oh, right there on the side of the highway, I walk up to him. I grab. Hold the mom, and language barrier there, and tell her, just fact, right? You don't want to beat around the bush when it comes to this stuff. So, man, your son did not survive. Reckon that's it.
Wow.
And of course, the response, you're fucking lying, and I was like,
wait, that's not what I would have guessed.
Oh, like, no. Well, I mean,
that's not a course to me. To me, it would be like somebody just kind of breaks down physically in front of me, emotionally, obviously. But you just described two very, very different things that would have never actually crossed my mind in these situations. Yeah. Like this is, I don't know if I'm mind blown. I'm certainly taken caught off guard a little bit because I understand there can be many, many different things. But the first thing is to know this isn't true. How do you respond to that, man?
Yeah, to this day.
What do you even say?
I'm trying to like convince her, but I'm just like, I'm there for her, and I was like, no, ma'am, like he is. And the sheriff of the department actually showed up at scene because she asked her, like, well, after, I shouldn't say most comfortable time. There's no fucking comfortable time. When she was in a different state of mind, she asked to see her son. And it was hard because I was doing CPR on this kid, and I remember this is where I blanked. Now it's coming back to me now. But so after doing CPR, the ambulance showed up. We asked for an air ambulance, couldn't fly, snow. So the ground ambulance came, took a little bit longer. So I'm running there, and I remember I was doing CPR. I had my turnout jacket on, just ripped that shit off, and I was telling my buddies like, "Fuck it, grab my shit. I don't even care. Turn off my turnouts." So it was just stinking hot doing CPR. So I grabbed this kid. Ambulance comes up. I'm running with the kid down the road, an eighth of a mile, put him in the ambulance. So the EMT's driving, the paramedics in the back. I'm like, fucking go. Yeah, at this point, I'm smart,
Right.
And they were like, where are we going? And I was like, fucking Reading, let's go. Like, code 3, let's go. So So I'm pumping on the channel. So I'm like, whatever. So I'm hoping spiking a bag for the paramedic, helping him out. So I'm like doing all my stuff. And then like this fucking ambulance. So I'm just focused, dude. They say tunnel vision don't get, dude, it hits. It hits. If anyone tells you it doesn't, it does. So I'm sitting there, and it felt like forever. I'm like, why haven't we fucking moved? I'm fucking angry, I'm at the point now where I'm just thinking about that other kid. It's like, no, we're going to save this one. I'm not letting another fucking kid die. Like, fuck this, not on my watch. Yeah. And paramedic, I see like the flat line and all that shit on the EKG, and she's like, Pranay. I'm like, what? So what the fuck are you doing? I was like, let's go. And she's like, no, stop fucking moving. He's dead. And I was like, no, he's not. So I'm in there with one of my bosses and stuff who isn't a kid too. And I'm like, wow. So it was like, yeah, it was rough, dude. And finally I just sat there. I just sat down, dude. They took the pictures you might see of this. So I'm sitting on the back of this fucking ambulance, just fucking done, defeated, feel like a piece of shit. My fault. So I'm like, fuck, we should have got out of bed faster that night. We should have drove the fire engine fast. Everything. Yeah. Dude, I did shitty CPR back there, like this is karma from what the fuck. So I'm sitting there looking at this child that I knew, unfortunately on impact of the car accident. Like the child went to God that minute. There's nothing we did to change that. So, yeah, that was rough. And here I am fucking throwing shit, fucking angry. Chief's there. He's like, are you okay? Shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. I remember saying that to him. I apologized after, but he knew, we all are in that way. Don't touch me, I was pissed, walking around, pacing, and that's when I ended up doing the pronouncing thing. And the sheriff came, and the wife held her son. So after that, went back to the station and threw away all my clothes, man, blood-soaked stuff. I was fucking done. Did a little after-action review thing like that. So I was still not right. So after that happened, next shift come down. So things are kind of calming down now after these wildfires throughout the whole state, right? Things are crazy and working everywhere, right? Wildfires are burning, homes are burning. So then I get hit with this call. Then I get hit with a breakup.
Things are spinning wildly out of control.
Yeah, so I'm going off duty. And this is so the time I'm driving a little Honda Accord. I-5 Williams, right? Williams area. I'm going out for a drill weekend. And that was going to be my last drill weekend. That was going to be my last day. I had a whole suicide note wrote up. I was done. I knew what I needed to do with finances, had my shit all packed up, clean, ready to go. I was done. It came to the point where like fucking shaking and shit. So thinking about it, it came to the point where I was like, I was done with everything. Like, I'm not loved anymore. It's all my fault. I can't fucking do my job anymore. These kids are dying on my watch. I'm fucking cursed. I don't want to be on another call. Why the fuck am I working 47 days because my department can't get their shit in line? I was blaming everything. It was everyone's fucking fault except mine. Excuse me. It was, yeah. I mean, I definitely took the blame for a lot of it, but I was blaming and projecting a lot in other ways too. Shit you not, pulled over, found a little parking lot that I was like, I'm fucking shooting myself right here. I was like, I'm done. This is it. I don't give a fuck. And, selfishly, I was like, man, I didn't care what mom would think. All these people that I was like allegedly love me. I was like, God damn, I'm with the strippers. She doesn't love me. This person doesn't love me. All I want in my dream, be married as a dad. Still is, and I look back at it, but I'm like, at that time, it was over. Fuck this fire department. I don't even care. I'm not loved. I'm not worthy enough. Dad didn't love me. I had relationships with some of my friends. Like, this is all me. Here I am just trying to do good. This fucking American hero, cop, fireman, military. Like, I was never really liked in high school either. I kind of just wanted the whole public safety lifestyle. And, I was just never, was in the cool kid club in high school. Everything was going through my head. Shit you not, God is amazing, as we all believe, in a huge part of my life. So I'm sitting there, 9mm on my lap, and have my laptop up, a Word document, about to hit fucking send, and do my thing. Best friend calls me. One of my best friends also works for CAL FIRE.
Out of the blue.
Shit you not. calls me. What's up, fucker? Break down crying. So we went to the same high school. We're still works for CAL FIRE, everything like that. Almost followed kind of identical paths. He stayed with CAL FIRE the whole time, but he's like, I don't fucking know. He's like, what do you mean? What are you doing? He's like, sitting here in some fucking piece of shit fucking part of California doing nothing. I was like, no, you're not. What are you doing? And I was like, I'm about to kill myself, dude. That's what I'm about to fucking do. And I was like, what? And he's like, the fuck you are. And I just broke down crying and started talking to him. And I was like, okay, well, you know, hung up, whatever. I was just pissed, man. And at that time I was heavily drinking too. I was just fucking over it. Started smoking cigarettes. I did everything, you know, I started doing everything vice.
A lot of behaviors.
Dude, anything that would change my current mind state to make me feel better, I was, during that little portion of my life. So, hey man, come down and stay with me. I got a buddy you need to talk to. And I was like, ooh, bro, I'm going to fucking counselor. This is some weird shit, bro. Trap me into some intervention or something like that.
Isn't it? That's a whole other thing. Like that could be a bad thing.
Right. It would be a good thing. Right, yeah. Right. But here I am, like the stigma that we were kind of talking about before, right? Put a jacket on me, like I'm some fucking head case or something, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've said this before, like you all of a sudden wear this identity that you are a head case and that you're the head case versus, look, I'm having an issue right now and I need to work through this issue. And
I say this to you guys who get hired and stuff, and I'll get back to it before I circle back and say, you know, we all go to the doctor when we break our bones, right? So why aren't we going to the doctor when we break our mind?
It's
like, well, why not?
So little
you know, it's
attention.
like a mantra that I have now. It's like, you fuck up your bone, you're sick, you're the doctor, right? So what are we doing? We just put it underneath. Now, no doubt did all this trauma and stuff happen to demise in my relationship. So It Takes Two did hang up.
There's a lot of things there, man.
There was a lot of times where I could have been like, and not been like a good boyfriend and been like, you know, like, oh, I got to answer this phone call. Oh, this chief is calling, this captain's calling, whatever, you know, fucking put your phone down. You're off duty, bro. Like they'll get to you. The fire's going to get put out, right? There's still another fireman out there. You're not some special person out there.
You're not the snowflake, right?
Yeah. You're not that one. So
you're sitting in the car. So
I said, come stay with me in Monterey. So go down to Monterey. He happens to be there. Lives in Monterey, and drove all the way down, whole night, and stayed with him. He said, I got somebody who wants to talk to you. So I'm sitting there breaking down, talking to him, and this one guy, you know, I'll throw his name out. He's just retired, Tony Howard. He's battalion chief. So what CAL FIRE has as our department now, and this is why, like, one of the reasons I'll never leave our department. You know, I definitely owe my department, you know, my department saved my life 100%. There's like 3 or 4 battalion chiefs. Like we actually have a chief. And you laugh about ironic because it's kind of like, damn, you guys have a battalion chief, like an alcohol and drug abuse battalion chief, a mental health battalion chief, like a wellness battalion chief. We have PT battalion chief.
So smart.
He's a fucking badass. He's a PT. He's a battalion chief of physical training for the state. But they're all out of Sacramento area, and it's pretty awesome. And this one guy, you know, he drives like an unmarked Tahoe, drives around like civvies like you and I. He's like, yeah, I'm a chief, but fuck the brass, you know, on my collar. He actually was down there doing a seminar about like our employee support services program, how to be in Monterey.
Wow, moon, sun, and stars. Dude.
So I fucking meet him on the beach in Monterey, Del Monte Beach. I'll remember, if you know where Del Monte Beach is in Monterey, it's fucking gorgeous. Oh, yeah. Dude, fuck, right there.
Don't tell anybody else.
Yeah,
let's just keep that to ourselves.
Dude, I go all the time. Yeah. So I sit there and I'm like, I get a little cigar going to smoke cigars, and I light a cigar, and he was like, can I talk to you? He's like, I'll fucking meet you. I was like, where you at? And I was like, no, don't meet me at headquarters. Like, I don't want to go. And there's, I don't care. You can have a beer if you want to. You know, I'm off duty. I'm chilling. You know, he's like, talk to me. Like mano y mano. Like, man, what the fuck is going on? I'm sitting there. I'm crying. I'm talking to him. I'm holding him. Within like 4 days, I'm on a plane, Department's dime, in Colorado, going to a PTSD therapy thing for 10 days.
Wow.
I'm going back here actually in 2 weeks.
Now my mind's blown.
Badass. So we have our ESS programs, right? We have the counseling and therapy that you're like open to 21 days of therapy and stuff.
Okay.
For severe cases or cases that need it, it's called EMDR. I think it's so like rapid eye movement technology. So
yeah,
right. Yeah. So you hold those little rabbit fucking little vibrators you hold onto.
Yep.
And the biggest thing for us, I'd probably say, if the Overwatch guys talked about it, it's like I don't want to go to some therapist. I'm not discrediting a civilian therapist, but right, like you don't understand. Oh, I got in a shooting the other day. Like, I'm usually working about marital issues. So it's like, or hey, I got into this kid. So I had some failures as some therapists going on. They're like, I can't even blame them, but they just don't understand.
No, so that's a whole.
You can't.
So can we talk about this for a second? So going back to this, it's called vestibular. What's the acronym? So they actually use this therapy for brain trauma, right? Is what they. If you get a concussion, they've used this in concussion therapy.
EMDR?
Something
rapid
like
eye
that.
movement.
Yeah. I spent, actually, I should know this. I spent 2 days in a really in-depth seminar out in Las Vegas on concussion protocols and therapies and new kind of treatments that are coming up. And this was part of it. But going back to the whole counselor thing, right? Or seeing a therapist that has zero clue the things that you face. Look, they got taught in school by somebody and did some, did some stuff like in clinic for, that, dealt with maybe the general population. But when you start telling about the stuff that I've heard this before on this podcast, you start telling about the stuff that you actually see and deal with on not just one time in your life that created some trauma, right? Every day in some cases, and then pile on. That's the shit that's happening to other people that you're witnessing and having to be a part of. Not to mention all the other stuff that this is the relationship stuff, like going back to the childhood.
Absolutely, yeah.
You mentioned your dad and your relationship there and all those. Those are things that maybe the general population and these, again, the general therapist maybe has a little bit more insight on. But this other stuff, this is like piling on. So you go back to the failures, like you're going in there going, what in the fuck? This person has no clue. They're freaking out.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm giving them trauma. Listen to me. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, they're going home to the dinner table telling them about
this fucked up dude, fireman.
This fucked up guy and sitting in front of me. Right. We were laughing about it, but I've heard this before from law enforcement officers, like that, and from ex-mil guys, the same thing. They're walking into these situations where the person that is there is supposed to be helping them is ill-equipped to do so.
They are, and they should stop doing it. And there's nothing against them, but they should stop taking like veteran PTSD or firemen or public safety or nurse stuff, And it's like, it was bad. But like you said, that's only like the stuff that really, the daily car accidents, right? How many dead bodies have been on I-5 or 101 or I-5?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea, man. But I think a lot of people have no earthly idea. It's
different.
The stuff that gets done every day.
Campfire in Chico, right? Everyone was up there, like in Paradise, where there's movies and documentaries being like, oh shit, the Paradise. What the fuck's Paradise at? Everyone's like, no, that shit was bad. It was, entire community, and seeing dead bodies and skulls and seeing people
wiped out.
Yeah, like we like fighting fire, right? I love going into a burning building. I want to go on a fucking roof. There's no other feeling like going up with a big screaming little Tonka truck, blowing people out of the way, hitting that spring break, popping out with a hose and a 600. Like, I love it. It's a fucking drug. It's fun.
But it comes with consequence.
No, and that's the things you got to learn, to like the life experience stuff. You coming out of the building, like, all right, chill out. Like, someone just lost their home, right? And that's the part sometimes that we'll forget as firemen. How you just, fuck yeah, dude, that was a badass job. We stretched to the Division 2. We pulled this engine 3/4 line. We fought fire. We're coming with smiles, and we're like, no, bro. Like, you want to talk like that? That's fine. Let's wait till we get back in the engine.
Yeah, so there's this turning on, turning off.
Someone just lost their home.
But you mentioned, and so they have, again, now they have trauma that they're going to have to deal with. But you're on this plane and you go to
Colorado.
You go to Colorado and they put you into this situation.
Right.
Talk about like you came out, what happened, and how you came out the other side.
So I was like, all right, what is this? Do I got a burn time? No, the department pays me to go. Right. It was on our dime to like pay for a flight or whatever. They took care of hotel to food, everything's taken care of. So supported with our department from their director, Chief 1 down out of Sacramento, supported by the governor's office. So, other fire departments are actually looking at our mental health program right now because it is so great.
Wait. California's doing something right?
They are. I know. Maybe if they open up the gun laws a little bit too, but.
This is a whole other podcast.
I know. Yeah,
but this is outstanding news. I mean, you're here today, so this has had to have been positive, right? So
yeah, but it's just when I get there, I'm still like, okay, if it's a real uncle, I talked to my chief. Sacramento already called my chief, my direct chief, and said, nope, you're fine. We blocked you out. We got coverage for you. So I get to the Sacramento airport. I pull right there. I get fucking hammered, dude. I'm nervous. So I go to immediately line up for the bar. Oh yeah, dude. I fucking give me my gin and tonic with Tanqueray to go to. And I'm like, all right. And I'm sitting there and drinking it and see fucking hammered all the way, dude, to Denver. And they pick you up in a little car and take you to this hotel. And what the fuck am I doing?
What's going to happen?
Yeah, I'm here by myself. Leave your phone in. Like, this is just weird. I'm here for 10 days in Colorado. Damn near the wintertime. It's cold and shit. And I'm like, this is fucking weird.
Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the sport, so a lot of CAL FIRE people who I know personally have gone out there. It's called the 11th hour. Is the thing, you know. And you get there and you work hand in hand with a therapist. Just you in a room, closed door. Everything. So, excuse me. From day one, like, where were you born? Like, tell me about everything. All the different random chicks.
Let's peel back all the layers.
Oh, it was rough. I got pissed a couple nights. I was like, I don't want to talk about that, you know. And then we got into the relationship stuff, and like, but there's a lot, right? I mean, department, like, sexual addiction, drug addictions, you know, alcohol problems, relationship issues, PTSD, the job. So I went through that whole process, and it was amazing. And I'm actually going back to part 2 here in 2 weeks, flying back.
There's a part 2.
Part 2. Yeah. So I'm going back for another, because some stuff we didn't finish closing up that if I want to button up, and going back for another 10 days here in a couple weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks I'll be flying out. And again, you know, department sponsored stuff. I'm not the only one. We're sending so many people out here to these programs. But dude, that one event changed my life. You know, being single now, but like, definitely prepared of when I enter another serious relationship. I'll be ready to be a good husband, a good father, learning how to balance the work and life, you know, hanging the badge up at the door, and learning that I did everything that I could for those 2 kids. Right. You know, I did, you know, like, I'm not a dirtbag. I train in shape, like, I did everything A to B.
You did everything you could do.
Right. Yeah. Did everything I could do. And that's just a part of the job. And you just have to be resilient and be able to bounce back and lean from it, you know, and to teach those new 18-year-old firefighters now.
Yeah.
Be like, hey man, and that's a position, the role that I'm in now as a company officer. I got to, you know, I'm in charge now. I'm no longer just pulling that fire hose to the front door and finding the fire. Like, I did that. Now it's time to pass the torch.
Pass it on.
Yeah.